Welcome, profound seeker of inner quiet. In a world relentlessly demanding your attention, pulling at the very threads of your being, a silent revolution is now taking root. It's not about grand pronouncements or flashy displays of power. Its true strength lies in its absolute, unwavering nature. Imagine a life where you reside as the undisputed sovereign of your own inner landscape, unburdened by the relentless currents of external storms, unshaken by the turbulent chaos that often arises within. This isn't some fleeting fantasy. It is, in its purest form, a profound discipline, a way of being. Today on The Chill Stoic, we embark on a deep dive into the timeless, unwavering wisdom of the Stoics, carefully unveiling the 4 fundamental pillars that uphold true, unyielding self-mastery. Prepare to profoundly transform your understanding of what genuine power truly means, to embrace a deep, abiding peace, and to uncover your authentic purpose. Your extraordinary journey to an unshakable self begins right here, right now. Part 1. Master your mouth. You are not destined to control the world. Its vastness and unpredictability are beyond your grasp, and that is a truth to be embraced. Your true dominion lies within, specifically over 4 essential domains: your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Neglect mastery over even one of these, and life, with its swift lessons, will inevitably remind you who truly holds the reins. You might possess an incredible intellect, undeniable talent, or the noblest of intentions, yet if you cannot govern your tongue in the heat of anger, or rein in your thoughts when fear takes hold, if your mood sways uncontrollably with every setback, or your finances falter when temptation calls, then you are not truly living a life of control. You are merely reacting to it, a leaf tossed in the wind. The Stoics, with their profound insights, grasped a fundamental truth. Genuine freedom doesn't emanate from what you accumulate or possess. It blossoms from what you can undeniably control within yourself. This isn't about your career, your past, or the fleeting opinions of others. It's about your own unwavering discipline, your profound restraint, your unique ability to pause when the average person would impulsively erupt, and your quiet strength to walk away when most would desperately chase. It is the conscious choice of profound silence over overwhelming noise, of serene stillness over relentless chaos. As the eminent psychologist Carl Jung so eloquently noted, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it destiny. In this illuminating discussion, we will meticulously dissect these 4 powerful, often silent forces that intricately shape every facet of your existence: your words, your emotions, your finances, and your deepest inner world. Master them, and you will construct a life so resilient, no external storm can ever truly shake its foundations. Allow them to control you, however, and your future will silently, subtly collapse from within. This is not mere motivation. It is a profound manual for true self-mastery. The tongue, though devoid of bone, possesses an astonishing, almost terrifying power. It can shatter trust into irreparable fragments, extinguish promising opportunities before they ignite, and incinerate bridges that no sincere apology, however heartfelt, can ever fully rebuild. Consider the poignant story of a man, solid and reliable, 7 years deep within his company. He was consistently competent, always prepared, and never the loudest voice, yet when he spoke, people listened with genuine attentiveness. One day, in a pivotal leadership meeting, a younger colleague was chosen to present a strategy the man himself had helped meticulously craft. Disagreeing vehemently with the delivery, he impulsively interrupted mid-presentation, his voice raised, sharp with frustration. The room fell into an unnerving silence. In that singular moment, he was technically correct, Yet, from that very day forward, no one ever perceived him in quite the same way again. This is the insidious danger. You can undeniably win an argument, yet tragically lose the war. You can articulate the absolute truth, yet utterly destroy your credibility if you fail to control the manner of its delivery. The Stoics grasped this truth with profound clarity. Words are not meant to be chaotic weapons. They are precise tools. And like any tool, when wielded by untrained hands or at an inappropriate moment, they invariably inflict far more damage than good. As the wise Marcus Aurelius penned in his Meditations, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. The truly wise person does not speak to prove a point, they speak to bring forth clarity, to illuminate, and more often than not, they simply wait. Let's be honest with ourselves, you seldom find yourself in trouble for the words you didn't utter. Trouble almost always arises when your mouth races ahead of your mind, a torrent unleashed. And the regret that follows isn't solely due to the external damage caused, but because, deep within, you knew instinctively that those words were utterly unnecessary. Observe our contemporary culture. Everyone seems compelled to speak, to interrupt, to react, to argue, to correct. Yet a profound silence reigns where listening should be. But when someone enters a space and speaks less, when they pause deliberately before articulating their thoughts, when their words feel measured, as if earned through vast experience, people inevitably notice. Because in a world utterly addicted to perpetual noise, true discipline becomes irresistibly magnetic. Reflect for a moment on the last time you spoke from a place of anger to a cherished friend, a beloved partner, or a respected colleague. You didn't truly mean the precise words, you were merely reacting. Yet the insidious damage was undeniably done. You apologized, they forgave, but that small, persistent voice in their mind, it whispers, "So that's what they really think of me." And those words, once unleashed, can never truly be unsaid. Now let's invert this perspective. Consider someone you deeply admire. Do they speak merely to win an argument? Or do they speak to genuinely serve? Do they lash out impulsively? Or do they first listen, truly listen? That is the profound distinction. The average individual speaks primarily to express an immediate emotion. The wise person speaks with the intention to influence direction, to guide, to clarify. And the Stoic? The Stoic speaks only when silence is no longer sufficient, when their measured words can offer something truly invaluable. Controlling your mouth is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate mastery of the most dangerous weapon you carry with you at all times. Your words possess the power to open vast new doors or to slam them shut irrevocably. They can lift someone from the precipice of despair or tragically push them over the edge. They can inspire others to lead or leave behind deep, enduring scars. And most perilously of all, your words profoundly shape your very own mind. What you articulate to others fundamentally reflects what you believe about yourself, and what you silently whisper to yourself ultimately becomes the reality you inhabit. So, the next time you feel that primal urge to snap, to engage in gossip, to complain, or simply to fill the air with idle chatter, ask yourself with deep sincerity, is this truly necessary? Is this genuinely constructive? Am I adding light and understanding or merely more noise to an already clamorous world? Because in the final summation, you will not be remembered for the decibel level of your voice. You will be remembered for whether your words carried profound meaning, or if they amounted to absolutely nothing at all. Master your mouth, speak less, mean more, and allow your profound silence to resonate far louder than most people's shouting ever could. Part 2. Tame your mind. Your mind is not simply a passive mirror reflecting the external world. Instead, it is an active, dynamic mirror reflecting precisely what you have chosen to focus your precious attention upon. Consider the man who lost everything, not because the world itself crumbled, but because his mind disintegrated after facing a layoff. He ceased applying for new roles, convinced himself no one was hiring, that he was too old, that the situation was utterly hopeless. So he retreated, fell silent, and accepted a quiet defeat. Months stretched into an eternity. His friends continued to check in, offering promising leads, but he simply ghosted them. Not because the opportunities were unreal, but because his pervasive thoughts dictated that they were simply not meant for him. This is how the vast majority of people lose their battles, not in the realm of action, but in the silent, insidious theater of thought. Long before failure manifests in the tangible world, they have already surrendered, mentally, irrevocably. The Stoics understood this with profound depth. Epictetus, with his timeless wisdom, taught us that it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. You see, your mind functions as a powerful gate. Whatever you permit to enter through that gate ultimately shapes everything else within your being. If your thoughts are a swirling vortex of chaos, fear, anger, or constant reactivity, then your actions will inevitably mirror that inner turmoil. And consequently, so will your relationships, your habits, and the very outcomes you experience. Yet herein lies the pervasive problem. Most individuals remain utterly unaware of the insidious tenets residing within their own minds. They passively allow negative thoughts to linger unchallenged, like a creeping mold in a dimly lit room, spreading silently, insidiously. Let me ask you, with genuine introspection, have you ever uttered "I can't" before even attempting something new? Have you ever prematurely assumed someone disliked you before they even spoke a single word? Have you ever felt a surge of overwhelming anxiety over something that hadn't even remotely occurred yet? That, my friend, is not reality. That is an untrained thought, a wild current, and it is running the entire show, dictating your experience. The mind is far more than just a mere reservoir of thoughts. It is the grand battlefield of your very destiny. And if you fail to command it, you will be perpetually ruled by fear, cleverly disguised as logic, by assumptions masquerading as awareness, and by raw emotion cunningly presented as truth. Let's bring this profound concept closer to home. A Stoic individual awakens in the very same world as everyone else. The identical cacophony, the same inherent chaos, the same ever-present stress. But here lies the profound difference. He consciously chooses what is permitted to enter his mind. He deliberately directs where his invaluable attention flows. He meticulously filters every single thought through the unwavering lens of reason. And he absolutely refuses to entertain thoughts that do not serve his higher, authentic self. You might argue, but I can't help how I feel. And to that the Stoic gently asserts, yes, you can. You simply haven't yet cultivated the discipline of thought. Controlling your mind is not about feigning that everything is perfect. It means you no longer permit fleeting emotions to script your life's narrative. You no longer accept every random thought as an undeniable truth. Instead, you courageously interrogate your inner dialogue. Is this fear or factual reality? Is this the unvarnished truth or merely the lingering echo of past trauma speaking? You do not attempt to silence the internal storm. You simply refuse to hand it the wheel, to let it steer your course. The powerful tools of the Stoic mind are elegantly simple yet profoundly effective. They include journaling, a sacred practice to challenge and clarify your swirling thoughts, meditation, to observe thoughts as they pass without attachment or judgment, reading, to consciously feed your mind with disciplined, empowering frameworks instead of intellectual junk. And solitude, a vital space to truly hear your own mind's whispers without the constant clamor of others. Because, let's be brutally honest, if you spend your days feeding your mind with drama, with gossip, with clickbait and unrelenting chaos, then do not express surprise when your life begins to feel profoundly out of control. Your mind is not a trash bin, a receptacle for unverified refuse. These indiscriminately throwing unverified thoughts into it and then expecting to find inner peace. You desire power, then reclaim it here within your own consciousness, because the individual who commands his mind cannot be manipulated, cannot be thrown off course by external forces, and cannot be ruled by the insidious grip of fear. Master your mind, for every war, inner or outer, is won or lost long before the first move is ever made. Part 3. Regulate your mood. You possess the remarkable capacity to feel everything, to experience the full spectrum of human emotion, and yet, paradoxically, allow nothing to control you. This is not coldness. This is the purest form of mastery, a profound self-possession. Consider the man who tragically missed a life-altering job opportunity, not because he lacked qualifications, nor because some external force sabotaged him, but because he entered the interview room consumed by a foul mood. Earlier that morning, a seemingly insignificant coffee spill on his shirt had ignited a spark. Then someone rudely cut him off in traffic, fanning the flames. And finally, the receptionist kept him waiting for 20 minutes, turning the spark into a simmering fire. By the time he sat across from the hiring manager, his face was tight with tension, his tone subtly off, and his energy radiated negativity. They never called him back. A missed opportunity, a life unlived, all due to an unregulated mood. This is the insidious cost of an uncontrolled mood. It leaks silently, pervasively. It contaminates moments that did not deserve to be ruined, spreading beyond its initial trigger to infect every subsequent interaction and experience. The Stoics, with their profound foresight, issued a timeless warning. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius profoundly recognized that anger, in itself, is not the problem. Sadness is not the problem. Frustration, disappointment, anxiety, these are all intrinsically human emotions, a part of the human experience. But when you permit those raw emotions to hijack your behavior, when you carelessly hand them the keys to your entire day, you have already lost the battle before it truly begins. Your mood is not your immutable identity. It is merely a weather system passing through, shifting, temporary, like clouds across the sky. And just like the weather, you are not obligated to cancel your entire day simply because it happens to be raining. Let's be profoundly real. We have all experienced those moments where one minuscule event triggers a cascading chain reaction. A delayed email, a sarcastic comment, a missed train. Suddenly the entire day feels irrevocably ruined. You become snappy, short-tempered, profoundly distracted. But the true problem isn't the initial event. The problem is that you never took a conscious breath to reset, to recalibrate your inner state. You never paused to ask yourself, with genuine intent, do I truly want this fleeting emotion to define my entire precious day? The Stoic response, in its elegant simplicity, is pause, process, proceed. A Stoic does not ignore their emotions. They observe them with detached curiosity, like a scientist examining a phenomenon. He doesn't pretend everything is perfect. He simply refuses to surrender control. Instead of impulsively reacting, he deeply reflects, Instead of spiraling into chaos, he pauses, anchoring himself in the present. He consciously chooses his response not from the frantic impulse of the moment, but from a place of unwavering principle. Feelings are not facts. They are signals, powerful indicators, but never absolute commands. Just because you feel something intensely does not mean you are compelled to act upon it. Just because you are triggered does not automatically validate your reaction as righteous. Just because you are sad does not mean you are inevitably doomed. Allow me to offer you a practical Stoic tool, a powerful technique: emotional labeling. When a strong mood washes over you, name it precisely. I feel profound frustration. I feel intense insecurity. I feel deeply dismissed. Simply naming the emotion creates a vital distance, a space for clarity to emerge. And within that newfound distance, true clarity is born. From that place of clarity, you then ask yourself, with unwavering self-compassion and resolve, what would a stronger, more disciplined version of me do in this very moment? And then, with courage, you do precisely that. Gratitude also serves as a potent antidote. You cannot simultaneously grasp anger and appreciation in the same hand, for they are diametrically opposed forces. So, when your mood begins its descent into darkness, consciously shift the spotlight of your attention. Find one single thing, however small, for which you are genuinely grateful. Then anchor yourself deeply to that. Because here is the profound truth. If you fail to control your mood will inevitably control your words, your choices, your relationships, and ultimately, your results. And in most cases, the damage it inflicts cannot be undone with a mere "I'm sorry." So do not chase the elusive perfect day. Instead, pursue emotional mastery with relentless dedication. Train yourself to remain calm when the storms rage around you. Train yourself to find a smile, even without an obvious reason. Train yourself to respond as a person of unwavering principle, not as a slave to fleeting, passing moods, because when you can steadfastly hold your center, the world outside becomes significantly less terrifying, and you yourself become infinitely more powerful. Regulate your mood, because no external victory will ever truly last if your emotions remain in command. Part 4. Govern your money. Money, in its raw essence, does not fundamentally change who you are. Instead, it serves as a powerful magnifier, profoundly exposing the true extent of self-control you genuinely possess. Consider the individual who drives a car he cannot truly afford solely to impress people he fundamentally does not respect, then meticulously posts it online, desperately hoping for validation from strangers. Behind this carefully constructed facade, he is drowning in a sea of debt, his credit maxed out, rent long overdue. Yet his clothes remain impeccably fresh and his ego remains seemingly untouchable. That is, until the inevitable bills come due. The modern world no longer ensnares you with physical chains. It enslaves you insidiously with payments, monthly payments, mental payments, and even spiritual payments. You cannot cultivate true inner peace when you are simultaneously cultivating ever-increasing debt. And you certainly cannot build lasting personal power when you have carelessly bartered your hard-won discipline for the fleeting allure of instant pleasure. While the Stoics did not discuss money in the precise contemporary terms we use today, they spoke with profound insight about attachment and the insidious addiction to comfort. Epictetus, with his timeless wisdom, cautioned that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Let's be utterly honest with ourselves. Most people do not inherently have a money problem. They suffer from an "I deserve this" problem, a subtle justification. They are plagued by an "I'll deal with it later" mentality. They are not merely spending money, they are unwittingly spending their invaluable peace of mind, all while mistakenly labeling it as happiness. Allow me to share a truth that the world in its consumerist frenzy will never tell you. If you cannot bring yourself to say a firm no to what you impulsively desire right now in this immediate moment, you will never truly attain what you genuinely desire later in the grander scheme of your life. A Stoic does not pursue wealth for the shallow purpose of showing off. Instead, he meticulously builds it to fiercely protect his hard-won freedom, to ensure he never becomes a beggar, beholden to anyone. Not for money, not for favors, not for the fleeting approval of others, because dependence, in any of its insidious forms, is a silent, suffocating cage. True wealth extends far beyond mere income. It is, at its core, profound control. Control over your spending habits, control over your emotional impulses, control over your very future. It is the unwavering ability to declare, with clear conviction, "I do not need that right now, because I am diligently building something far grander, far more significant." Let's bring this concept even closer to your everyday reality. Have you ever found yourself shopping simply because boredom had set in? Have you ever purchased something expensive, not because you genuinely needed it, but because your ego felt bruised and you desperately craved a fleeting sensation of being in control? That, my friend, is not power. That is an emotional escape cunningly disguised as self-worth. And here is the harsh, undeniable truth. If your fleeting mood commands your money, you are already, fundamentally, broke, regardless of your income. A Stoic, in contrast, meticulously builds robust systems. He budgets, not with the intention of restricting joy, but with the profound purpose of safeguarding his cherished freedom. He saves diligently because he understands that storms, both literal and metaphorical, arrive without warning. He invests not just in tangible assets, but in the invaluable currency of mindset, skill, and unwavering stability. He rigorously avoids debt, recognizing that the interest you pay is not merely financial, it is profoundly mental, an invisible weight. Debt steals far more than mere dollars. It ruthlessly steals your precious options. It compels you to say yes to jobs you despise. It keeps you endlessly awake at night, gnawing at your peace. It transforms your promising future into a prison you willingly walk into. Now, let me be unequivocally clear. Money itself is not inherently evil, but the obsessive pursuit of it, the unbridled attachment to it, undeniably is. When your life's purpose is to impress others, you are condemned to live in perpetual stress. When you live beyond your means, you inevitably sink far below your true potential. You do not need to be astronomically rich. You need to be stable. You need to be unequivocally in control, because there is no authentic Stoicism without profound self-reliance, and there can be no true self-reliance if you are perpetually at war with your own wallet. Every single dollar you spend is, in essence, a vote cast for the future you will ultimately inhabit. So, before your next purchase, pause and ask yourself with deep consideration, does this acquisition genuinely support the person I am striving to become? Is this a conscious reward for effort or merely an impulsive reaction to a fleeting emotion? Will this purchase genuinely matter 5 years from now, or is it simply feeding a 5-second emotional urge? You yearn for peace? Then diligently mend the leaks in your financial vessel. You crave power? Then cease outsourcing your vital discipline to fleeting impulse. Because a person who cannot govern their own money will forever remain at the mercy of someone who can. Master your money. Because true financial freedom is not about accumulating immense wealth. It is about the profound liberation of no longer being a slave to debt or desire. Part 5. The Unstoppable Self. The individual who exercises profound control over themselves cannot, by any means, be controlled by anyone else. Most people yearn for freedom, yet what they truly chase is a mere permission slip. Permission to indulge every whim, permission to react impulsively to every slight, permission to succumb to laziness, to remain undisciplined, and yet still inexplicably expect inner peace. But true freedom does not emanate from external liberties or the absence of constraints. It blossoms organically and powerfully from internal discipline. And until you master the very essence of yourself, your words, your mood, your money, your mind, you will forever be owned by something, a prisoner of your own unexamined impulses. Look around you, truly observe. You will witness individuals addicted to fleeting impulses, reacting instantly to every insult, spending every dollar they possess, exploding with disproportionate anger over trivialities, desperately craving validation for every single step they take. They are not free. They are merely loud, filling the void with incessant noise, and beneath that clamor lies a pervasive, quiet fear. A Stoic lives a profoundly different existence. He is not cold or devoid of emotion. He simply refuses to hand over the keys to his cherished inner peace every time life becomes messy, chaotic, or unpredictable. He does not yell because he has no desperate need to prove anything to anyone. He does not flaunt his strength because he possesses no fear of being underestimated. He does not overspend because he instinctively knows that true power is quiet, often unseen. Discipline is his impenetrable armor. It is how he moves through the world with an unwavering steadiness, not because the world is inherently easy, but because he is no longer fragile within. Allow me to ask you, with genuine introspection, what would your life genuinely look like if your emotions ceased controlling your mornings, dictating your day's tone? If your thoughts no longer spiraled into destructive patterns every single night? If your words consistently aligned with your deepest wisdom and values? If your wallet truly reflected your unwavering principles? That, my friend, is not merely an unattainable dream. That is precisely what unfolds when you begin consciously choosing profound control over fleeting comfort. The Stoics did not chase luxury or ephemeral pleasures. They pursued unwavering alignment with their true selves. They did not seek the clamor of applause. They sought, above all else, profound integrity. They understood that freedom is not about doing whatever you want without consequence. It is about fundamentally becoming someone who no longer needs to be rescued from their own impulses, from their own internal chaos. And here lies the profound paradox that most individuals never truly grasp. Discipline does not cage you. It, in fact, liberates you. When you master your speech, you meticulously build unbreakable trust. When you control your thoughts, you unlock a profound, crystalline clarity. When you master your emotions, you win countless battles without ever needing to initiate a war. When you govern your money, you move through life with unparalleled freedom instead of perpetually begging for meager options. You desire true power? Then cease attempting to control other people, external outcomes, or the ever-shifting opinions of others. Begin instead with the inner battlefield, with the landscape of your own being, because the individual who conquers that domain cannot be stopped, cannot be defeated. Control is not the ultimate destination. It is the unwavering path itself. Freedom is the glorious outcome that naturally follows. You will never achieve true liberation until you become the undisputed master of your own impulses, your own reactions. Not your boss, not your childhood experiences, not your external circumstances. You. Because you are, simultaneously, the architect of your destiny and the silent saboteur, the fierce protector and the self-imposed prisoner. You are the one who chooses to build or to break. You do not require more fleeting motivation. You require more profound ownership, more radical responsibility for your own life. You have absorbed enough inspiring speeches. Now, the time has come to look deeply into the mirror with unwavering honesty and ask yourself, am I truly controlled by my passing moods? Am I leaking my precious power through careless words? Am I, in essence, broke in discipline, even if I currently possess ample money? Is my mind working in harmonious concert for me, or is it subtly working against me, a constant inner adversary? If even one of those questions brings a pang of discomfort, a sting of truth, good. That means you are ready for transformation. Begin small, with intention. Speak with greater purpose, with profound mindfulness. Think with enhanced clarity, with a sharpened focus. Feel with a greater sense of balance, with emotional equilibrium. Spend your resources with more deliberate intention, with unwavering purpose. Master these 4 fundamental domains. And then, observe with awe as the rest of your life begins to bend, gracefully, powerfully, to your unwavering will. This journey is not about achieving an elusive perfection. It is about never again being passive, never again surrendering your agency, because no one is coming to save you but you yourself. If this message deep within your being sparked a resonant truth, do not let it fade into silence. Leave a comment, share this profound wisdom with someone who remains trapped by their own inner chaos, and subscribe to the Chill Stoic for more timeless wisdom meticulously designed to help you master the only battlefield that truly, profoundly matters, yourself. This has been the Chill Stoic, and your next, most powerful chapter begins now.